After the Election Commission froze the Shiv Sena symbol on Saturday, the bow and arrow, the both factions, Uddhav Thackeray and Eknath Shinde, were allocated new symbols as well as party names. While Uddhav Thackeray faction was given Mashal, the Shinde faction was given shield and swords. Well, in today's political adda, we discuss what does it mean for these two factions and where do they go from here? Joining me is Manasi Phadke from Maharashtra, our Maharashtra correspondent, and we have our political editor DK Singh. Sir, the first question. We know that a lot has happened, over the weekend. This entire controversy over the symbols, it has been going on for a while now. But what does it mean for both of these factions?
I'll pass it on to Mansi. She's Maharashtra expert. I'm just here.
So Mansi, why don't you elaborate on this?
Okay, firstly, we have to understand that the names and the symbols are, as of now, on paper, temporary till the Election Commission decides, finally on which way it's going to rule in case of the dispute. But having said that, at the same time, there's a very strong likelihood that the Election Commission may just say, okay, this resolves the dispute. You have new symbols, new names. And otherwise, because according to the Election Commission's rule, it can say that neither of the two factions have the right to the party's name or symbol. So it could very well be permanent in that case. What I think is it's a very good opportunity for Uddhav Thackeray, although he's being portrayed as the victim in this entire episode. But at the same time, there's something about him in which is his demeanor, in which he's also accepting the fact that it's an opportunity for him to officially reinvent the Shiv Sena and take it forward. Because today's Shiv Sena under Uddhav Thackeray is definitely not the same as it was in 1966 when Bal Thackeray started the Shiv Sena. His politics is more liberal. At best, it can be called center-right. He has his definition of Hinduism is also very different from what Bal Thackeray stood for at that time. And having Shiv Sena Uddhav Thackeray as the name officially gives him legitimacy to build the party on his name and take it to people. Also, the symbol of a Mashal, which is basically a torch flame, it's a more relevant symbol right now because a Mashal traditionally has stood for ideas such as revolution. And this is exactly what you're trying to tell the people that, we are, this is a revolution that we are bringing about right now. So the party can actually make very good use of its new name and symbol, but it will probably take a while to settle. With regards to the Shinde faction, Bala Sahebanchi Shiv Sena and the sword and shield, in some ways the BJP has sort of won this battle by giving Bal Thackerays tag to the Shinde faction and basically associating the traditional Hindutva vote bank more with the Shinde faction than the Uddhav Thackeray faction. But where the Shinde faction goes from here totally depends upon its electoral prowess in the near term and how useful it is for the BJP also going forward. So that's where it stands.
Well, we have received a lot of questions from our viewers also, so we will be taking them up. Arun Jadhav wants to know, in upcoming elections, how will Shiv Sena and Uddhav Thackeray faction deal with Congress and NCP in sheet sharing and ideological differences?
Coming to the ideological differences first, I and Mansi were just talking about it. CPI has now extended support to the Shiv Sena candidate in Andheri East Assembly. She will be elaborating what it means and what a drastic change it is. So just read her copy once it's published. When you talk about ideological differences, that's why I refer to CPI.
Right.
Look at how, the different parties have been looking at. Until we heard about the CPI support, we used to think that, in Indian politics today, you have either the leftist or the BJP with committed ideological stance. And the rest are kind of adopting this ideology of convenience. Look at Shiv Sena also. Shiv Sena, if you look at it from Bal Thackeray's time, Shiv Sena has been pretty flexible in terms of its alliance partners. So, Bal Sahab Thackeray, if you remember, there was a time he allied with Praja Socialist Party. He allied with the Congress also. Congress O, that anti-Indira Gandhi faction. After the Congress split, he allied with Congress O also. Then he went on to support the Congress during the emergency and after the emergency in the Lok Sabha and Assembly election. In fact, way back in 79, I think it was 79, I think, yes. He even, allied with the Indian Muslim League. This Banatwala, I mean, he held a rally with him in 79 BMC elections. So you have seen him, changing the partners, so right from Bal Thackre's time. So for Uddhav to again go back to the Congress, I'm saying going back to the Congress because Bal Thackre had also allied with the Congress for quite some time. So ideology is not coming in between. When you are talking about electoral understanding and your electoral objective, Shiv Sena has not really allowed its ideology to come in between. It has been there since the 60s.
Right.
Coming to the other point about seat sharing between these parties, well, it will, as we have seen, in the Andheri East Assembly, bypoll also, this bypoll will be on the 3rd of November. Look at how the Congress has given up its claim. Now, Andheri East, until 2014, this assembly constituency was with the Congress. And I was just checking in the last 2019 assembly election also, the Congress got 19% of the vote. Although Shiv Sena was the winner, Shiv Sena got 42%. Congress 19% is quite substantial. So Congress support base is not totally eroded in Andheri East. Still, Congress has gone ahead and given up the seat for the Shiv Sena. And what the BJP has done, BJP now, if you look at the BJP is fielding Murji Patel. Now, Murji Patel was a BJP corporator who contested as an independent and got 31% seat, 31% votes last time. Not getting into the nitty-gritty of this bypoll and how they are contesting. I'm just trying to say how Congress is ready to give up. NCP has supported the Shiv Sena. So the seat sharing in future, maybe in at least till BMC election, I think they will be very much together. They would actually like to see how Shiv Sena performs. If Shiv Sena stands on solid ground in BMC election, I think this alliance will continue. But if Shiv Sena somehow, in this assembly bypoll, something goes wrong, Shiv Sena loses a seat, because this seat was held by the Shiv Sena MLA. Shiv Sena loses it despite MVA coming together, despite even CPI supporting it. There will be apprehensions in the MVA. Then BMC election, if it is seen that, Shinde faction has damaged Shiv Sena so badly, the Uddhav faction of the Shiv Sena so badly, then probably these allies may think. But as I said, today's ideology, and even seat sharing, now this entire ideology has become anti-BJPism. BJP on the one side and anti-BJP forces together. They will be practical after these elections, as I said, after bypolls and BMC elections, probably they may have some rethink. But the broader outlook of these parties would be, as I said, anti-BJPism. And that will drive their seat-sharing talks and further alliances.
So rethinking will depend on the...
Yeah, Manasi, what do you think?
Absolutely, because both NCP has no presence in Mumbai, so it will have absolutely no problem in tying up with the Shiv Sena. Congress's presence in the BMC is eroded over the past few years, so they are also likely to come, at some formal or informal understanding on seats. So they will stick together in the BMC elections, at least not target each other. That's what is likely to happen.
Another question for you, Manasi. Aditya wants to know, what would be the real issues you think that would be highlighted by both BJP and Eknath Shinde group and Uddhav Thackeray faction in upcoming BMC elections?
Well, the Uddhav Thackeray-led Shiv Sena per se has been in charge of the BMC for 25 years. So they would like to highlight their supposed performance in the BMC. So the issues that they will talk about is generally how they've been able to revamp the BMC schools. They've rebranded them as Mumbai Public Schools, and it's been a pet project of Aditya Thackeray as well. They've got a lot of different boards to offer. ICSE, CBSE, they are in talks with IGCSE and IB as well to start a school, under the BMC. So that's one thing that they will talk about. They'll talk about how the BMC handled COVID in Mumbai. set up health infrastructure, set up war rooms, especially in the second wave, brought down the total tally of patients on a daily basis very quickly. The other thing that they would like to talk about is how, Mumbai still sees a lot of waterlogging every year, but the chronic spots, which used to be in the news every year, a lot of dewatering pumps have been deployed there, and they are no longer, as bad as they used to be even a few years ago. So these are a few things that the Shiv Sena under Uddhav Thackeray would like to talk about. Now, what the Shinde group will talk about in terms of real issues is anybody's guess, because it was born out of political differences, not policy-oriented differences. Politically, they will talk about things such as maybe the Marathi population being marginalized, because Uddhav Thackeray is reaching out to Muslims and reaching out to non-Marathis. They would probably want to highlight those sort of things. On an issue basis, BJP has been at the Shiv Sena for the poor condition of Mumbai's roads and corruption in PMC contracts. So it's likely that the Shinde group will also take up similar issues.
Manasi, taking up from where you left when you were answering the first question, in BMC election, in his Shivaji Park address, we saw him reaching out to Muslims in a way. So
right.
What you were talking about, reinventing himself. So Uddhav Thackeray talking about Rashtriya Rifles, Aurangzeb, who was killed by terrorists, talking about Bilkis Bano. He was saying that, how have I given up on Hindutva when RSS chief is going to a mosque? Has he abandoned Hindutva? So how have I abandoned? So in BMC election, how does it play out? Is it that he is thinking that, okay, a section of the Muslims may also come to support the Shiv Sena in Mumbai?
Well, in the last election, Shiv Sena actually got its first Muslim corporator elected. So that the outreach had started right since then. If I'm not wrong, there were 3 or 4 Muslim candidates in the fray, and of which one or two emerged victorious. So the outreach had started from then itself, and it also a lot boils down to the changing demographics of Mumbai. The Uddhav Thackeray can't just reach out to definitely not only the Marathi vote bank. The Gujarati community is largely, the perception is that they are with the BJP. You are left with North Indian and South Indian and other sundry voters. Uddhav Thackeray can reach out to them to a certain extent, using the Hindutva ideology. But again, Congress is also very strong in those segments. So you cannot ignore the Muslim voter base in Mumbai either. And it helps Uddhav Thackeray portray a more kind of liberal, approach to his ideology, which resonates in Mumbai to a certain extent.
But we don't know how much that will resonate with the hardcore Shiv Senas.
Yeah.
Aditya has another question for you. We know that, Lok Sabha elections are also around the corner. In 2024. He's asking that, do you think post the results of municipal elections in Maharashtra, we will see changes in politics of the state, keeping in mind the upcoming Lok Sabha and Vidhan Sabha elections in 2024?
You will have, because, Uddhav, we have already discussed.
Right.
Okay, what happens, or whatever happens with the MVA alliance will to an extent depend on how the Uddhav faction of Shiv Sena performs in the BMC elections.
Right.
Similarly, there will be a churn in the other alliance also. Now, Eknath Shinde, as you have seen, they have been together so far, they have been putting up a solid front. But inside you see some kind of unease. Now, they have not been able to even expand their cabinet. So first they took 40 days to have the first cabinet expansion when 19 MLAs were made ministers, 9 each from both parties. And again, since then, how many days it has been? It was in August. So it has been at least a couple of months, 3 months, 2 months more?
Since the first expansion, for 2 months, from June to August, they had no cabinet.
22 more vacancies of ministers, and they have not been able to announce it.
Right.
Of course, they will be like, which party will take how many MLAs, and Shinde would be looking for accommodating most of his MLAs because, 10 MLAs have 10 MLAs who had quit Uddhav, who had abandoned Uddhav. They have been accommodated in the government, but there are 30 more. So while there are internal things happening in Shinde camp, there is sense of insecurity that if you deny them berths, ministerial berths. Some may probably walk over to the other side, but anyways, that's one part of it. Broader thing is, right now Eknath Shinde faction is very useful to the BJP because BJP has to finish the Shiv Sena as a threat. So BJP will be using it. But if Eknath Shinde faction turns out to be a flop, I would say, in BMC election, if
they're not able to perform,
then they'll lose their utility for the BJP, I mean, to a great extent. And after that, how BJP approaches this entire thing, for how long it would like to continue that alliance with Eknath Shinde, will have to be watched. Because if you ask me, I think in the next assembly election, I don't really think BJP or the NDA will go with Shinde as the chief ministerial face. Shinde is a stopgap arrangement for the BJP in its journey of expansion in Maharashtra, and to completely bring Sena to a level where it's hardly any threat. But if Shinde does not fire in the coming BMC election, there will be a lot of churning in the NDA in terms of their equations and who holds what and for how long this government will continue. I would like Manasi to actually weigh in on this.
But even going beyond BMC, Shinde's utility to BJP is basically in every municipal corporation where Shiv Sena has had some sizable strength. Because, I mean, if they want to really reduce Shiv Sena, Uddhav Thackeray-led Shiv Sena to a bit-sized player, they have to even start hacking at their municipal support everywhere across Maharashtra. So there's Aurangabad. A lot of Marathwada MLAs are with the Shinde group. So it's possible that the Shinde group will actually deliver that for the BJP. Then there is Thane, where it's Eknath Shinde's bastion any which way. So Thane is likely to have a strong sway. Then other places like Nasik, and in Mumbai, even if the Shinde faction, see, Mumbai, Shiv Sena and BJP last time were neck and neck. So even if the Shinde faction can swing that neck and neck by a few more votes, even 8 to 10 seats more, it will add, it will give the BJP a benefit. So
if the Shinde faction fizzles out,
yeah, then of course its utility to the BJP is over. And if it fizzles out everywhere, then it's more than over.
Looking beyond Thane and Aurangabad, I would say. I mean, exactly. Immediately after BMC. But yes,
they would all be held at the same time. I mean, at least the last 2017, all 10 municipal corporation elections were held around the same time, and the results also came around the same time. So most likely they would all be announced around the same time.
Okay.
Well, Bhagwati has a question for both of you. She wants to know, Shinde being a Kunabi Maratha face, covers both Maratha and OBC identity, is threat to NCP's vote bank. So is that the reason Sharad Pawar backing Uddhav Thackeray with full strength? Because he doesn't want another Maratha leader to emerge in Maharashtra?
Well, Manasi is better equipped to answer this question.
No, not really, because Shinde has not really worn his Maratha identity, Kunbi Maratha identity on his sleeves throughout this whole rebellion. Secondly, I don't think, honestly, they are in the same league as politicians. Eknath Shinde's influence is limited to Thane, and now that he's Maharashtra Chief Minister, he's got an opportunity to cultivate his influence elsewhere. And secondly, even the Kunbi Maratha vote bank, Maratha and OBC vote banks don't vote as a bloc. So they have not been Sharad Pawar's monopoly for a while now. All parties have, some share of the Kunbi, the OBC and Maratha vote bank. So I don't think it's because, of this reason that Sharad Pawar is interested in tying up with Uddhav Thackeray to defeat the Shinde faction. It's more to keep the BJP out of power, and it's more to kind of get all opposition forces together and increase their strength, reduce the BJP strength.
And Shirkunj Pawar wants to know if you could elaborate on and provide any inside information about BJP's role and larger goal, with probable way ahead about the same. Much has been spoken and heard about the next plan and the next step. But he would like to know, what is the long-term plan of BJP in this power tussle of Shiv Sena?
It's not limited to Maharashtra, but let me take you to Bihar first. You know what happened on Monday? There was this national executive meeting of the Rashtriya Janata Dal of Lalu Yadav.
Right.
There they have passed a resolution. I'm sorry for this diversion, but I need to elaborate a bit. So there they have passed a resolution basically authorizing Lalu Yadav or Tejaswi Yadav to decide if there is a change of name of the party or if there is a change of any symbol. Now that has triggered a lot of buzz in Bihar. Now everybody is talking about, this is probably the first step towards the merger of the JDU and the RJD. Now why would that merger happen? The politicians in Bihar, their explanation is, where Nitish Kumar has been reduced to by the BJP. Nitish Kumar was always the big brother. Now now BJP is the big brother. In a while, probably after or around 2024 election or after that, depending on what this alliance does, there is a possibility, or at least Nitish Kumar camp is very apprehensive that the BJP will break the JDU and Nitish Kumar game will be over. This kind of apprehension about an ally, and so the two come together, JDU, RJD as one party, and probably some other splinters of erstwhile Janata Dal. In Bihar, they will have a solid block. So if you have 125 MLAs together, chances of defections are less. And then Nitish Kumar shifts to the center and Tejaswi Yadav becomes the CM. Why I am talking about Bihar is, that tells you the story of a long-term alliance partner of the BJP. How the BJP plays with its alliance partner. Let's look at Assam, for instance. Assam, you have this BPF, Bodo People's Front. BPF was a partner of the BJP. BPF had ministers in the government. So BJP was part of NDA in the state, at the center. Then you had this Bodoland Territorial Council election, and BJP floats UPPL. And then post-election, actually allied with the UPPL to keep Hangama out of this equation. Of course, BPF has come back to the NDA, it has no option.
Yes.
But that's another way to show how BJP treats its allies. It's always an opportunity for expansion. That's the party you look around everywhere. Say in Telangana, for instance, you have TRS, which was such a close ally of the BJP. BJP started turning on the heat. Now you see what KCR has been saying and doing. Across in every state, in Haryana, you had INLD as BJP's partner. BJP abandoned it. BJP had shaken hands with JJP. And now when you have Adhampur bipolar happening, JJP is an ally of the BJP. And now JJP is very upset because it has been kept out of all the posters everywhere. Where again BJP is there to expand. So BJP's ultimate objective is to expand. At the cost of allies if it has to. Well, that's how it has been expanding. So is the case in Maharashtra. To be fair, BJP is not there. Nobody plays politics for philanthropy or to promote some other party. So you cannot fault BJP for this. Coming back to Maharashtra, I'm talking about all this, what has happened to allies, in the context of what may happen in Maharashtra now. Now in Maharashtra also BJP was a big brother, Shiv Sena was the big brother all through. In the first election, in fact, 90, when Shiv Sena contested 188 seats, from there also you kept saying like out of 288, majority of the seats would go to Shiv Sena, it would be contesting 171, around that figure, and BJP would contesting on 117, 119 like that. Things have completely changed now. BJP became a big brother, and now Shiv Sena is out of that camp. So naturally, the way Maharashtra politics will go is what we discussed. The BJP completely pushing Shiv Sena to a corner, trying to actually push it out of the equations. And then deal with Shinde camp, because BJP's ultimate objective would be to have total domination over Maharashtra politics. You cannot have a Hindutva competitor. Your vote bank getting split between two, like there's another stakeholder, that BJP will not allow anymore. So even Shinde, for how long it will go on, I don't know. But BJP has to have total supremacy when it comes to Maharashtra politics, as in other parts of the country.
Well, I'll try to just ask a few more questions. Mansi, another viewer wants to know, what is the future of parties like NCP and Congress and all this controversy that has been going on? Will they form a secular alliance and fight the BMC elections against the Uddhav Thackeray-led Shiv Sena?
I think a lot of this has already been answered by DK sir, because somebody said to me, okay, it's a Marathi statement that basically means till the BJP continues to put their hands into the Congress, Shiv Sena and NCP's coffers, these three parties will be hand in hand together. So it's a very bad translation, but
you should say it in Marathi also, because we have
our Marathi viewers can understand.
जोपर्यंत बीजेपी या तीन पक्षांच्या पायात पाय घालेल तोपर्यंत हे हातात हात घालून राहतील. So that is the saying in Marathi, which is basically till the time the BJP it threatens these three parties' individual existence, they will be compelled to stay together. So they will have to work out seat sharing formulae. They will have to work out either formally, informally, unsaid understanding, complicit, or whatever it is. But their future depends on how the BJP's future over the next 10 years or so.
I'll just end with this last question. Another viewer wants to know, what is the future of how difficult would it be for Shinde-led government to coordinate with Uddhav Thackeray-led BMC if Thackeray wins the BMC elections, and because of this, will the state infrastructure get impacted?
I think, Manasi, you should take this question, because how the state government the interface between the state government and BMC, how it... Okay.
All of its decision, it has to go to the state government to get a ratification. And we have seen in the past as well that when there was a Congress NCP government in the state and the Shiv Sena held BMC, at that time BMC was, it had a lot of friction with state government run agencies like MMRDA. And there was obviously an impact on various sort of infrastructure projects as well. Even 2014 to 2019, when the BJP and Shiv Sena were in power in the state, but at that time they were bittersweet allies, and Shiv Sena was in power in the BMC. So we had seen, and the Urban Development Department, which kind of corresponds with the BMC, was with the Chief Minister Devendra Fadnavis at the time. So we had seen, the two entities also warring on development plan or tree cutting for the RA metro car shed. So that obviously always happens when you have two different political parties controlling two different bodies who are interlinked with each other. There will be friction. So yes, that's likely to happen.
Well, we have been witnessing that in Delhi with the Aam Aadmi Party, at the state level, and BJP-led MCD. But thank you.
But in Delhi, our government doesn't have any control on the municipal.
But in terms of salaries and everything, they keep hindering. There's something or the other that's always going on as far as the governance is concerned. But thank you so much for this analysis. We will be back next week with a new episode.
Thanks, Manasi.
Thank you.
Thank you.